This is Algebra 2, Chapter 4, Chapter Review, okay? The test is worth 35 points, all right? And it starts out with simplification, and I'm going to warn you, on the first 6, there will be no negative answers, negative exponents. So if you have a negative exponent, you need to change it, okay? So here's an example, a couple examples. The directions will say simplify, number 1, okay? Simplify something like this, a negative 4x to the minus 3y to the 5th times a negative 2x to the minus 2y to the minus 4, okay? Now, I can give you negative exponents, but I don't want them back, okay? So if we look at this, we multiply the negative 4 times the negative 2, and we get a positive 8, correct? And then we add exponents when we're multiplying. So a negative 3 plus a negative 2 is what?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. And then y to the what power?
1.
1. Okay, now, and if you leave it like that, I will check it wrong, okay? It should be written like this, 8y over x to the 5th power, okay? Right, number 2, I'll have something like this, 3x squared y z to the 9th over 27x to the 4th y to the 5th z, okay? So I think I taught you to separate this, so you go 3 over 27, put your x's together, and we subtract them, so 2 minus 4. I'm kind of skipping a step there. And then the y's would be to the 1st power minus the 5th power, times the z, which would be the 9th power minus the 1st power. Correct? Harper? You understand? So I have 1 over 9 times,
Yeah.
go ahead,
Nothing like that.
okay, times x to the what power?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Y to the what? Negative 4, and z to the 8. So I get, looks like z is on top and the rest are on bottom. Make sure that you do not leave any negative exponents. I cannot, every year I have somebody that leaves negative exponents. Okay? All right, so let's say that I have a negative 8x squared minus 5x plus 3, subtract 5x times the parentheses 2x minus 4, okay? Now, I'm going to change all subtraction to addition. Did you get that, Dawson?
Is that a 3x?
This right here,
No.
this one?
Yeah.
5.
Oh, 5.
So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go plus a negative here, and plus a negative here, and plus a negative here. Correct? So there's 3 of them. So I'm gonna take a negative 8x squared plus a negative 5x plus 3 plus, and then I'm gonna distribute this through. So negative 10x plus 20. Oops, it's negative 10x squared plus 20x. So my final answer is, this is like with this. So I have a negative 18x squared. This is like with this, plus 15x plus 3. Okay? Questions so far? Alright, so now I'm going to do this x plus 4 times the quantity, 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, I have a binomial times a trinomial. So I'm going to change this to plus negative, and I'm going to take every member of the binomial times the trinomial, so I'm going to go here. That would be 3x cubed. Then it's going to go to here. which would be plus a negative 2x squared, and then here, which is plus x. Plus, and then I go to the bottom, so it's here, 12x squared, here, plus a negative 8x, and then here, plus 4. And now I just look for like terms. So I get 3x cubed. This is like with this, so plus 10x squared. Is that true? Then plus negative 7x plus 4. What happens if I take this? If I take 2x to the 5th cubed, what do I get?
2x. Yeah.
It'd be what?
2x to the 15.
No, it would be 8x to the 15. Common error is not to cube the 2. Okay? Alright? Okay. Number 6. Looking at question 4. Question 4. The answer. Question 4. The question is, what's the degree of your answer? It is 3. I don't know who said that, but okay. And then what is the leading coefficient?
3.
It is also 3, and that's this 3. Okay, kind of worked out weird. All right. Now, then you have one problem of long division. If we get to the end and you want to see that, I'll come back and do that. We spent quite a bit of time on long division, but there is one problem. It's down at the bottom of the page. I left you a little bit of room. And then we do synthetic division. Okay? I do want to look at synthetic division a little bit, the way it's set up, because this confuses students. So we'll look at the next page here. I want to do a synthetic division. You remember what synthetic division was, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can find one real quick. I may have to go back to the section. Because the way it's written concerns me that you may not understand what I'm looking for. Okay, so this is synthetic division. It's number what? 7. Okay, so it'll be written something like this. 2x to the 3rd power minus 13x squared plus 26x minus 24 times x minus 4 to the minus 1 power. Okay, this is a different way to do synthetic. There was some of it like this in your assignment, but I wanted to write it. Okay, so what goes in the box?
4.
How do we know if it's a negative 4?
If it's plus.
Okay, it'd be x plus. Are there any zeros?
No.
No, so we have 2, a negative 13, 26, and a negative 24. All over. Okay, so we bring down the 2, correct? 2 times 4 is 8. We add it there, negative 5, and 4 is a negative 20. That would be 6. 6 times that is 24. Oh, this one comes out even, right? So if you wanted to write this out, the answer, what would it be?
2x or
2x
to the 3rd.
squared.
Oh,
one
you go
left-
down.
one- yep. Minus 5x plus 6. Now, since there's no remainder, I did have to pick one that had no remainder, which stinks. Let's say there would be a remainder. I would go plus the remainder over x minus 4, correct? All right, remember
So-
that?
If there was a number in the spot of that 0, you just put that over.
Yeah, it would be this, that area right there.
What if you can simplify it with the 4?
No, you can't do that because there's an x minus 4 in front of it. Okay, so no. All right, okay. So the next one, the next set of directions will say factor. No, it won't. I lied. I didn't read the next set of directions, I guessed. It'll say if P of x equals a negative 2x squared minus 4x plus 3, and f of x equals 2x cubed plus 2, find, and then number 8 would say something like this, f of a negative 2, okay? So you have to figure out which one to put it in, right? And I would put it into this one, and you can use your calculator, cube plus 2. So would you let Mrs. Campbell in? So this would be negative 8 times 2 is a negative 16 plus 2, which is a negative 14. Hi, Mrs. Campbell.
Hello.
How are you?
Brush your clothes back.
Thank you.
Actually, I was ready this.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
You don't want it?
Yo, Josh, you said you wanted to put it on your
alright.
wall, and I
Thank
don't
you.
have smooth walls, so
Okay.
it wouldn't work.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
absolutely.
it. All right, number 9 then, okay? Number 9 is, let's say that we better do a P of x one, right? Let's make it a little harder. Let's go P of x, or P, something like this. 3j plus 1.
How do we do that?
How do you do that? That's a great question. So for all the x's in here, I'm going to put in this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go negative 2 times 3j plus 1 squared minus 4 times 3j plus 1 plus 3.
Well, you can put that in our calculator.
You got to FOIL this. You know, I mean, you can't put j in there, you know, because you don't have a value. It's just going to be a variable. So if you FOIL this, you can do it on your, I think I can do it in my head. Somebody check me. 9j squared plus 6j plus 1 plus a negative 4 times 3j plus 1. Well, that was correct?
9j squared plus 6j?
Yeah, plus 1.
Yeah, right.
Okay, now we're going to bring the negative 2 through. Negative 18j squared plus a negative 12j plus a negative 2 plus a negative 12j plus a negative 4 plus 3. Now we just do like terms. So Harper, it'd be tough to do that, but you can use your calculator to do the multiplication and the adding. So it looks like I'm going to get a negative 18j squared plus a negative 24j plus a negative 2, negative 6, negative 3.
How'd you get the 9j squared?
I FOIL this. I take 3j plus 1 times 3j plus 1, and I do this. So that would be 9, right? This. That's what I
Okay.
did. I just did it in my head for time's sake.
What's an 18j squared, right?
I think it's squared.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Okay. All right. Any questions on that? All right. Give me a second. I'm going to grab a graph because we have to do in behavior. And I think for the most part, you guys are pretty good at in behavior from what I've seen. I'm just following along the test. Probably shouldn't follow it as precisely as I am, but okay. Let's just put this on top. Okay, so let's talk about in behavior. So I'm going to have a graph that looks something like this. Okay, all right, so first of all, this is number 10. So can you read this if I put 10 up here?
Yep.
10 says, describe the end behavior, all right? So,
As X.
okay, as x approaches,
Positive.
I always go negative infinity first.
F of X approaches negative.
Yeah.
F of x approaches negative infinity. And that's this right
Yeah.
here. And then as x approaches positive infinity, f of x approaches positive infinity. Okay, so that's number 10. Number 11 we'll ask, is it an even or an odd function?
It's
Even.
even. No, wait.
It's odd or something.
Oh,
Those are
yeah.
opposite.
Opposite.
It is odd. How many real roots?
Movements.
2.
2.
2. And what are they?
Negative 3 and 1.
Yeah, negative
Negative 3 here and
1.
Positive.
1. And if they're between something, you put between those two, okay? So that is in behavior. And honestly, that's one of the easier questions on the test, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So hopefully we do well. Oh, I gotta graph the next one. So now we're gonna do graph. And it's gonna be an x cubed value. Now let me find one. These are kind of hard because we can do a t-table. So I'm gonna do the t-table here and we're gonna graph it. But it's fairly, it was that same section, right?
Yeah.
Did we have? Let's see. Oh, it was analyzing graphs, wasn't it? Okay. We try to pick one that is like the one on the test. Okay. And can you use your graphing calculator?
Yes.
Yes, you can. All right. So let's say that we have f of x equals. Let's do 2x cubed plus x squared minus 4x minus 2. So, and I will say, part of the directions is make a table of values. Can you just put it on your calculator and list the points?
No.
Yeah, you can. I don't care. I'm allowing you to use your graphing calculator. So what I want is, I want a table, and then we'll graph it. So if you want to plug points in, or you just read your table, but let's start with a negative 3, and let's go to 3. Okay, so what would a negative 3 be? Anybody?
Bueller.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking. What's a negative 3? Anybody?
Alright.
4 plus 9.
Negative 35.
Negative 35. What's a negative 2?
Negative 6.
Negative 1.
1.
0 is a negative 2.
Yep.
1,
Negative 3.
2,
10.
and 3.
49.
And how did he know that?
On his graphing calculator.
Yeah, your graphing calculator will tell that. So you got to list that table.
Alright.
That's part of your points, Harper.
How many points we got?
3 points for that. Okay?
Alright.
Now, I can't really graph a negative 3, 25, but I can do a negative 2. Oops. Negative 2.
Just a negative 6.
Negative 6. Would you just read it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Then what? Negative 1.
Negative 1. 1.
Negative 1, 1.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. 0.
Negative 2.
Okay.
1. Negative 3.
Okay.
2. Positive 10.
It's here.
And
Can't-
that's about it.
All right. So what I do is I come from here, right?
Yep.
And I come up to here. I'm probably going to hit a maximum point, come down to here, like that. And then it's got to turn around and come up like that. And you can check your graphing calculator. What I'm looking for is that it's consistent, right? I have arrows on the ends, okay? And then I know these values, so my zeros are between what?
Negative
Six
2,
and
1,
one.
negative 2 and negative 1.
Between a -2 and a -1, and also
1 and 2.
between
Negative,
Positive 1 and 2.
oh yeah.
between 1 and 2. I should probably put it in there. Okay? Do you understand that? You should not miss that problem. If I allow you to use your graphing calculators, correct?
Correct.
All right. Any questions? All right, so then we're moving on. We want to solve each equation. I don't know which number I'm on.
14.
What is it?
14.
14? Okay. Okay, so I will have x to the fourth minus 12x squared minus 64 equals 0. Okay? And then something like this. 15 is x cubed plus 27 equals 0. Okay? Now, if you will remember right, this can be factored as x squared. Can anybody factor this for me? X squared and x squared.
Yeah, 8 and 4.
8 and 4.
I don't know
Wouldn't
which
it
was.
be 8 and
No, it can't be 8 and 4 because 8 and 4 is 12, but they have the same sign and these are opposite signs.
16 and 4?
16 and 4.
Yeah.
All right, and I believe the 16 is negative and the 4 is positive. And how do I know that?
Because the bigger number will be negative.
Because the bigger number is negative because the middle's negative. All right. Now I set each one of these equal to 0 by the zero product property, correct?
Yeah.
Now the big thing is you're going to have a plus or minus. Because when I solve this one, I get x squared equals 16, x equals plus or minus 4. If you take the square root of it, right? And when you take the square root of it, Greeley, it's plus or minus. We cannot forget that. Greeley? And this one is x squared equals a negative 4. So when I take square root, it's plus or minus I. It's plus or minus 2i. Because, yeah. So there's 4 answers. You got to get the plus or minus. Okay, if you remember right, this one is factored as a binomial times a trinomial. This is the cube root of that, so it's x. This is the cube root of that, which is 3, and plus is between them because it's the same as that, right? And then you square this term, which is x squared, and you square this term, which is 9, and it's the back. And then this is the opposite of whatever that sign is, so it's minus. And I multiply the two together, I get 3x, correct? Plus 9. That is always plus. The last one's always plus. The answer to this one is a negative 3. Do you all agree?
Yeah.
The answer to this one is it is not factorable. You must use the quadratic formula. Always. If it's a cube. So I go x equals a negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I get a negative b, which is 3 plus or minus the square root, or b squared, which is 9, minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 9, all over 2 times 1, right? Am I going too fast?
No.
So I get 3 plus or minus 9 minus 36 is what? Negative 27 all over 2. And I get 3 plus or minus, I poke an I out, and that is 3i squared at 3 over 2. And since it's a I problem, it is 3 halves plus or minus, and I'll accept 3i squared at 3 over 2. I would probably accept this too, to be honest with you. Okay? We good? Alright, so now we're going to use synthetic substitution to find a value. So let me get there. Alright, let's say number 16, if f of x equals 3x cubed minus 6x squared plus x minus 11, find f of 3 using synthetic division. And, okay, so I would go 3 in the box, and this one, it's the number they give you goes in the box. You don't have to change the sign of it. And then I would go 3, a negative 6, 1, and negative 11. Once again, I don't have a 0, do I? So bring down to 3, I get 9. You get 3 times 3 is 9, so 10, 30. What's 30 plus that would be 19, right?
Yep.
My answer is 19 because it said use synthetic division or substitution to find what the value of it is. So f of 3 equals 19.
So
Yep,
you add them right there?
negative 11 plus 30. Yes, you add these
The other
lines.
one you subtract.
No, we never subtract
No, you
on
won't.
synthetic division.
You
I think he's just talking about the other division.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
Okay, all right. Questions?
Are we gonna have to use synthetic substitution at all?
This is called synthetic substitution.
Isn't there one though where we just like plug?
Direct
in?
substitution, that is direct substitution. You can use direct substitution and put 3 into it to check your answer. Can't you? Yep. Yep,
So this one that we just did is addition, but the other ones, like the synthetic division and long division, like those ones, you know?
long division is different.
But like those synthetic division problems, we subtract,
Always add
because we subtracted.
this line. Which one? Do I have it here?
Number 7.
Okay, okay. Let's take a look here. Let's see, I put 4 in.
Oh, it's never mind.
And, yeah, I
Five.
added, yeah. Good thing I kept those. Okay, any questions on this page? I'll put the test right in front of you.
Oh,
Never thought about that. Nah.
Try it again.
All right, so then the next question says, given a polynomial and one of its factors, find the remaining. Okay? All right, let me see here. This is, these are hard to find. Okay, so this is number what?
17.
17. So here it is. You have x to the third minus 6x squared plus 11x minus 6, and one of its factors is x minus 1. So what goes in the box?
1.
1.
Yeah.
1 goes in the box, and I get 1, negative 6, 11, and negative 6. Now what's my remainder going to be, or better be?
0.
It better be 0, okay?
Yeah.
So that's 1, that's a negative 5, that's 6, 6 is that, I get 0, right?
What did you put in the box?
1. It's the opposite.
Oh, 1. And then
Yep.
the 1 here, -5.
Okay?
And
So
greater is-
my depressed polynomial is x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0, and I factor it. I don't have to put equals 0, I just have to factor it. It's x, I believe, plus 6. Nope. It's x minus 2 and x minus 3. So here are your factors. And you can put x minus 1 in there too if you want, because I brought that down.
Do you have to put that in there?
No, I will not count off for that if you don't. And the last problem is Descartes' chart.
What?
No, not that. Okay, so, do you remember how to do this?
Yeah.
They all add up to something.
Right. Let's see. List the possible of real, and I want the chart. I have a little chart there. All you gotta do is fill it out. So here we go. We got f of x equals 6x to the fourth plus 4x cubed minus x squared minus 5x minus 7. Remember that the first time through, we just go changes of sign. So this is no, this is yes, this is no, and this is no. So we only have one positive, correct? We don't go down 0, only if it's even. So then, and we have a total of 4, right? So now we do f of negative x. So we put a negative x in. Okay, we want one sign. So this is positive, right? So 6x to the fourth. This one actually happens to be negative, doesn't it? This is positive, so the negative stays. That's positive, and that stays negative. So we have 1, that's a yes. No. Yes. Yes. So I have 3 or 1, right?
So it's basically just opposite.
No, not always. Not always. Not always. No, that's a coincidence. Okay? So I have plus, minus, I, which will be filled in for you. All you have to do is fill in a number. So I start with this. I go 1, 3, 1, 3, and since there's a total of 4, how many I's? 0. Then I have 1, 1. How many I's?
3. 2.
2, because there's 4 total. And I'm done, right? That's Descartes' chart. Nope.
Why can't you have like 0, 0, 4 or something like that?
Because this is not 0. It's 1.
Oh,
So I do the combinations 1, 3, 1, 1.
I see.
Okay? All right. Do not have enough time to go through the long division, so you'll have to do that on your own. Okay?